Okay, guys, we did our live stream this last weekend, and then uh, we didn't bother to break down our costs really tight. But what we will do here is we will go into our subtracting out the major ticket items and then draw an inference from there as to how much our slab and pillar and beam system cost. Okay, so let's get to that. Okay, so let's get the big ticket items out of the way. Lynn will give you a cost for each one, and then we will have a quick talk on each major ticket item here.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Oh, hello. Yeah. So far, our AAC blocks, including the delivery charge, because they charge like 500 pesos per town that they pass through,
Yeah.
which were San Remigio is the 10th town from Cebu City. So it's like 500 times 10 is like 5,000, but they double the charge because they do the two loads, like they went back the next
No,
day.
but we fought them on that. We won.
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Because they wanted to bring one truck up, and then we were going to have to all haul it by ourselves from the highway in.
Yes, due to the electrical wires
And I
along
said, not acceptable,
their
guys.
path.
And
So
they did buy into it.
yeah, so all in all, AAC plus, like I think that was 42 bags of
The adhesive.
AAC adhesive.
Yeah.
It cost us roughly 151,000 pesos.
And in that, guys, I take a little bit of an inference to how much the Filipinos don't put the adhesive on the way it is recommended.
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen the Indian videos now, you've seen various videos that I've shown, even the Western one, where they show the consistency of that AAC adhesive going down. And they overshot to the point where I think that they're, seeing Filipino masons or masoons putting it down thick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not what you do with adhesive in this case.
Mm-hmm.
All adhesives, they are a chemical. And we did overshoot, guys. We overshot by quite a bit. 750 blocks is what we ordered for a 60 square meter house. Yes. With interior walls. But there was always the question mark is whether we were going to put a wall off our front deck to have privacy from the basketball court. Yes, we ended up putting that in. And then we wanted, were we going to need privacy walls for the back deck? Yes, we decided we needed privacy walls for the back deck. And so keep that in mind that we did overshoot. But if you were doing a full 100 square meter home with AAC, the 750 blocks would be really close. Yeah. And what did you say? That was 151,000 delivered. Yeah. No. Okay, so what was next, Lynn?
Yeah, and then our full sliding window, which is the front, like the ocean view.
The patio door, yeah.
Yeah, is like roughly 98,000 pesos. Yeah. Full contract, like including installation and all, like finished product is 98,000.
What was next, Lynn, after that?
So next is our total windows in the house.
General windows.
Yeah, so we have two big windows in our ensuite, like in our bedroom, and one in the TV room. So that's right. The only three big windows in the house, and then the rest are small windows for the bathroom, the kitchen, the two bathrooms, and the entrance side of our house. So all in all, the 3 plus 4, like 7 windows all in all, 3 big and 4 small ones. It cost us 25,000. It's vinyl window as well.
Yeah.
From City Hardware.
Okay, so what's next on the list there?
Well, next is our soffits plus ceilings, which cost us almost 200,000 pesos.
Right. Yeah.
But this is 200,000 pesos.
Yeah, it's 200,000 for that contract. Now, in that too, was some work done on the garage. So the soffits were done on the garage to complete that project out.
Yeah.
No sense in having a ceiling in a garage, in my opinion. It included all of the strapping and etc. For inside and outside, right. So that stuff could be screwed down, properly. Now, so some of the remaining cost gets added towards the end here. But I'll say it to you now. When all of that strapping went in, and I went and touched the ceiling I felt there was too much heat transfer to the inside metal from the roof, even though we had insulated that. So when all that strapping went in for the ceiling, we put in more 10 millimeter insulation to give ourselves an additional heat pocket, as it were, to then, allow us with these solar exhaust vents to pull that heat out. Okay, so that heat was now no longer going to a huge degree anyway, not going to be coming down and heating the ceiling itself up. And
next is our roof plus the full angle bars. For our roofing, it cost us 220,000 pesos. Still, this is contract.
Right. Yeah. So we had, I believe it was 1.25 by 1.25 inch and 2-inch angle bar for that whole roof.
Yeah.
Was the heavy mill thickness? I do not remember the thickness.
I think the thickness was 1/8 or 1/16 or something. But he said that's the thickest. Yeah. Like, even when he did a garage, when he purchased it from the store, they said, "What? Yeah, you are going to use this just for the garage? Like, this is expensive. Like, but that's what we wanted. Yeah. Even in our house. And
so from that, guys, weigh out why we did all of this. What they didn't know was that in the long term, the garage is designed and sloped for solar panels. And the other reason we did not do the C-purlins, the flexible C-purlins and such, was when we looked in Cebu and Liloan and such, the only homes where we saw the roof tore off was not on the metal ones, it was on the C-purlins. Yeah. Even the ones we saw with cocoa lumber was still attached in many cases, and where the wind could get underneath. But it was the C-purlin stuff that shocked me. It's vibrating against this flexible stuff, and it's not much holding that screw. And that, to me, was the kicker from my engineering brain. And so we spent a lot of money on that roof. Now, in this context, where I want to go quickly with this is Sunshine Shoulders. He said 1 million pesos for a 50 square meter house. We did a 60 square meter house, but our roof was 100 square meters. So if you subtract our roof maybe right in half, 100,000 pesos, now we're only 100,000 pesos over what Sunshine Shoulders did. Okay, so, but we've got a covered dirty kitchen, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, not to prolong all this. What's the next one?
And our next is tiles. It cost us like 73,400. Yeah. Including the bathroom tiles, walls, and floors, and our patio floors and our deck floors outside of the house.
Now, we didn't obviously finish because I'm not happy with how they did the bathroom.
Yeah, but
all of the other stuff is finished. And so we subtract a little bit of cost off, but this is the final at 73.
Yeah, and then we also use a heavy-duty adhesive. Yeah. Adhesive alone, no cement mixed into it. Yeah.
So I went into that the other day. So.
Yeah. So, and then next is the labor for our 7 mason, which is the skilled. We paid 550 pesos per day, and then the helpers, as we call it, is 450 pesos per day.
Right. Yeah. Right. Now remember, guys, when we were doing the slab and such, the all the digging and all of that type of stuff, that cost I will include a little bit later here, but this averages out for the house build itself with our skilled labor and our masons. Yeah. Okay. And the one guy that did all the sifting.
Right. So it cost us 131,250.
Yeah.
All in all.
Now, Clarence asked the question, and he's spot on with this. Are you sure? Because that doesn't match with, Western country as far as the labor goes. It's percentage against materials. Mm-hmm. Again, you got to remember how much these guys are getting paid. If you're looking at materials costs in a Western build, the materials in the Philippines are still cheaper, but relative to wages, no.
Yeah.
Because everybody gets paid 400 pesos there. That's just,
and then the only thing is you have to find a bigger supplier for your materials in order to get a cheaper amount. Let's say if you will buy, rebars, don't buy just 10 or 5 or 20. Buy in bulk ask your mason, how much do we need? How much rebars do we need for this? So that I can buy in bulk. And in that way, you have to go into a bigger store. They will deliver it for free and then ask how much is your discount. Always ask for a discount. Even those big stores, big hardware stores,
Right.
they are the ones supplying the small hardware stores. So don't go for small hardware stores if you can. Like even if it's far, like maybe the next town away from where you build, go there. They'll deliver it for free, trust me. And then buy in bulk and ask them how much is your discount. And if they'll give you this, let's say 10 pesos discount, 10 pesos each, just ask for more. They will, because they knew that you will be back for more concrete, sand, gravel. You are not just buying the rebars. You will buy more item from them.
Right.
So they know that. So just don't be afraid to ask for a discount, because those big stores, even their prices are fixed, they are willing to give it to you.
Yeah, but just remember, guys, this is where you have to have a lot of those heart-to-heart conversations with your wife.
Yeah, and if
because
your wife,
this is going to get in the way.
Don't go there.
Lynn always says to me, don't let me go in, don't go in, park around the corner,
and
do all this stuff.
One thing also is, if, let's say, if you know somebody who work in that store, all the more they'll give you a discount because they are a friend, or friend somebody in the store and, hi darling, can I get the discount or something like that? Just do it. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. It's normal in the Philippines.
Yeah, it may be different than going to a wet market, but just encourage your wife to treat it as if she's going to a wet market.
Yeah.
And again, lots of shopping around so that you have baselines to work with.
Right. Yeah. Just play it.
That's why I say Lynn can easily be a foreman in the Philippines.
Just do it so that you can,
So Lynn, our bottom line really came down to about 950,000.
Yeah, it
for all the
can
majors.
so 900,000 roughly.
Yeah. So let's get into, where did the other 250,000 roughly pesos go? Well, right off the bat, I can tell you that our cocoa lumber alone was 50,000 pesos.
So I guess maybe we will advise them if they could rent a scaffolding.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was to hold up the concrete, the
whole house,
and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. So,
but yes,
it's a given.
This is a good point Lynn made, because we had to make more than a few dumbas there, also known as scaffolding.
Scaffolding.
They trust them, but it costs you time to make it, costs you nails, all of this type of stuff to put it together. Nails means that eventually it's going to be wobbly. Yeah. And this is where a lot of this, the guys know that their cost of a build is pretty small. So they want to drag it out more, guys.
That's right, yeah.
But it wasn't until towards the end, when we were going to do the AAC, that I said, no, we need staging. I wish we'd have bought the staging right up front. And because relative, it's cheap.
Yes,
it's
because
cheap.
The 3 scaffolding that we had is only 11,000 pesos.
Yeah. And if we'd have bought 4, that would have been spot on for what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Especially on the outside, where we had to go up quite a ways.
Yeah.
So think about that, guys. It's 50,000 pesos right off the bat.
Yeah, and then we have the tie wire.
And then at that point, we were also 14 guys. So now you have to add another 7 guys to your labor. At our worst case, when we were at the 14 guys, we were paying just under 950 a week for a 6-day work week.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it wasn't until we got all the digging done that we dropped that labor, down to the 8 guys.
Yeah.
8 guys. And that worked out just perfectly for us.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was really all on the unskilled labor side. Now, you may want to keep unskilled labor to simply do all the concrete mixing and all that stuff. You may not want to have your skilled labor at that point.
Yeah.
We preferred to have more skilled labor than not, so that we could shift people as we could.
Yeah.
So where did that 200,000 go? Well, first, when we first got there, the concrete price was high. The rebar price was high. In the last video, Lynn said we started out paying about 205. The previous year, we were paying 155.
Yeah.
And then throughout the whole build, we were slowly dropping.
There was even when we started in October, that it reached the the concrete reaches like 230, 228 to 230, and then I asked for a discount. I went into a bigger store and asked for a discount, and then I ordered in bulk like 25 to 30 bags of concrete. Then they give me a discount free of charge for the delivery. That is why you always have to find ways to get a discount from these stores, because you won't spend a lot.
But getting quickly back on track here.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, we had to order river sand,
Yes.
which has some stone that's in it that's too big, so you have to spend time sifting it when you're going to start doing your finer coat with the massoons on the mortar.
Yeah.
And then we had to buy the stone. I call it stone. It's round,
Gravel.
but she calls it gravel. Gravel is broken in my world. You don't normally put round stone inside concrete. It's usually a broken stone. But anyway, we had to order that as well.
Yeah.
How much that all came to, guys, we just can't say. And the main reason is that we had other projects going on, and how much time am I going to spend trying to figure out how many bags were sifted for this and how many bags were sifted
it's so hard. Like, that is why I always ask, how many bags did you use today? Or like, okay, how many? So I have, at the end of the day, I have to count how many bags of cement was left so that I can record it. It's too much.
Yeah,
to
it's too much. So we're kind of giving it to you in this respect, that if you take the cocoa lumber out of the equation,
it's a big chunk.
Then take out probably another 40,000 in costs like nails, tie wire.
It needs to be tied into your, for the beams.
Like, you just keep going on and on and on. Nails, tie wire, glue, insulation, thinner,
the
extra red lid that we had to buy. The fisherman's extra thick string so that they could draw their lines. And then we had extra long string to do the extra layer of insulation.
Yeah, and we used that one for the insulation as well.
Yeah,
that's what they use.
And so you could easily see where, that got chewed up.
Grinders, welding rod. There are
welding rod. Anyway, guys, I think you can see where, these side costs, if you took the 50,000 for the cocoa lumber alone, and let's say we round it up to 50,000 for the miscellaneous costs, then you could easily see where 200,000 pesos in concrete, the added labor for the slab, etc., the pillars, and the sand and the rock, and all that other stuff, all that extra rebar, all of that stuff, where all that comes into play. Okay, so there you go. I think that kind of winds down our build costing side of things. And look ahead, Lynn and I are going to do a video on kind of our timing of those 12 to 14 weeks of our build, and lay out, the rain delays, we'll lay out the drying time, all of this type of thing, and why we did things in a certain order. Okay, guys, that's a long enough video for today. Later, Gators.